You've been in the Amazon world for 11 years now as a seller. What are you seeing that mimics or is similar to the same time frame as when you got into Amazon with TikTok Shop right now?
TikTok Shop feels like the early days of Amazon, right? There's not as much rules and red tape. Like, I would just say that TikTok Shop probably iterates like 6 times faster.
What have you done specifically that has helped you with this?
Meet Fernando Campos, e-commerce veteran with 11 years of wins, including building and exiting brands on Amazon. Today, he runs supplement brands, hitting $40 million a year, and founded Hive HQ, the top profit analytics dashboard powering TikTok Shop growth. Host of TikTok Shop Secrets podcast, get ready for game-changing insights.
Hey guys, welcome back to the unofficial TikTok Shop podcast. Today, I have an absolute heavyweight in the e-commerce space and in the TikTok Shop space that I am going to be bringing on, and I'm going to be absolutely bringing every single detail of what they are doing to scale on TikTok Shop. And stick around until the end because we are going to be talking about a tool that Fernando has been using that has absolutely changed the game when it comes to recovering a ton of revenue. Things that a lot of brands are not thinking about. I am lucky enough to be friends with Fernando Campos, who runs a portfolio of about $40 million revenue brands and is the founder of Hive HQ. Fernando, welcome to the unofficial TikTok Shop podcast.
Thanks so much, Jordan. Yeah, I love being here. Thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. So for people who don't know anything about you or your brands or what you're up to these days, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I've been an Amazon seller or e-commerce seller for 11 years now, which is kind of terrifying. We've done a bunch in the space. We, built and sold a few brands. We started Pixelfy and then exited that in 2021. I'm also the host of the TikTok Shop Secrets podcast. Because ever want to check it out. But yeah, right now my main two things is one, running the portfolio of supplement brands that does about 40 million a year. And then, the CEO and founder of Hive HQ, pretty much the leading profit analytics dashboard for TikTok Shop.
Awesome. What's great also is that probably most people who have listened to this don't know anything about Hive HQ, guys. We are going to get into that shortly. What I want to talk about first is, you've been in the Amazon world for 11 years now as a seller. What are you seeing that mimics or is similar to the same time frame as when you got into Amazon with TikTok Shop right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it TikTok Shop feels like the early days of Amazon, right? Where there was no there's not as much rules and red tape. Like ultimately, like you could just kind of break things and move really fast. I would just say that TikTok Shop probably iterates like 6 times faster. Where I feel like back in the early Amazon days, like 1 or 2 maybe like big updates a year. Now, like TikTok does it every like 6 to 8 weeks. It's pretty bananas. But yeah, it feels like that like early Wild Wild West kind of days.
So walk me through what you guys are doing specifically on TikTok Shop. So people come to this podcast to learn about TikTok Shop, how to scale TikTok Shop, how to even just launch on TikTok Shop. Walk me through the launch strategy that you guys had specifically on TikTok Shop. You're also in supplements, which, by the way, is a very, very difficult place to be in. We've steered fairly far away from supplements at Social Commerce Club, and stayed to most of the other industries right now. But what have you done specifically that has helped you with this?
Yeah. So I mean, we got on like relatively early, right? We started onboarding in December 2023, launched by January 24. And I mean, we just hit it hard. I think, we built out a bot like that, did well in the beginning. And I think, now obviously fast forwarding 2 years later, like you can't just, I think, rely on a bot. I think, what we started doing was one, building a community, and then putting our best creators on retainer. So I think a big thing that we think about is like, okay, this creator just passed whatever 5K in GMV. They've only done like 2 videos for us. Can we reinvest, let's say 5-10%, so let's call it $500 into getting more videos with them, really building a relationship. And ultimately, maybe we get another like 20-30 videos out of that deal. But because they've been proven, because they've actually been able to sell our product, by putting them on retainer, it keeps them more engaged. And now we have, I don't know, probably 80 creators on retainer that ends
So
up.
what do those retainers, Fernando, sorry to step in here. What do those retainers actually look like? Like, how much are you paying each one of those? Because 80 retainers is a lot. That's a lot of manpower to take care of as well, or person power.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, we have a team obviously that's managing it. I mean, the retainers kind of just depend on the last 30-day GMV and ultimately how much GMV they've driven for our brands. I guess I would look at it as like my preference is to give retainers to those that have actually driven GMV for our brand. But sometimes, there's a creator that's done whatever 100K for other supplement brands that are kind of similar to us. They have a high PSS score. And we're like, you know what? We'll take a flyer on this one. We'll pay them
And
whatever
sorry,
1,000 bucks.
walk me through what's a, for people who don't know, what's a PSS score?
Oh, the, product selection score. So it's basically like how relevant this creator is to your product. And so have they sold products, that are similar. And it's generally we're looking at it like above 4 or below 4. And then so like above 4 is like something that we're like, okay, cool. We're willing to test it out with this creator. Especially if they've driven a high amount of GMV. I don't care about all time, but like in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
And what we kind of see is like, okay, if they're like below, let's say 10 to 15K a month, they're probably going to be like happy with like 500 bucks a month, maybe 700 bucks a month. They're over like, yeah, like whatever, 15K a month, then they're probably going to ask for like a grand, for 30. And this is all for 30 videos, right?
Gotcha. Okay, so that's for 30 videos. And what do you get from those videos? Like when you pay the retainer, what are you getting from the creators? Like, do you get access to use it on all channels?
Yep.
What are you getting from that?
Yeah, so we'll get access to content usage rights for all channels. Yeah, I mean, obviously, then we're to have the ad authorization specifically for TikTok Shop. But I think ultimately the way that I think about it is that you're getting the loyalty and the attention of a top performing creator that's been proven that can sell for you, that is going to be constantly excited about the new products and basically just really, I guess, focus on the brand. Because ultimately, even if like just whatever simple numbers, right? If you have 10 creators that are each committed to 30, then your floor of videos per month is about 300, right? Not including sampling and all that kind of stuff. And so that just creates a great, like steady, consistent amount of videos. But these creators are great at figuring out what the new angles are going to be, like what messaging to hit. They're going to be just so much more invested in doing video responses on their top videos. And whenever I want to push like a new flavor or a new like product, like they're invested in that brand and in our brand. And so basically it's just so much easier to do anything truthfully when you have this kind of really strong cohort of creators that are proven, and then all these kind of random affiliates, through open plan will kind of follow along. They'll see the messaging that's worked well with these retainer creators, and they end up copying the same hooks and messaging. And that's how we've really scaled, is having those kind of retainer creators first, and then everyone else kind of follows.
Hey guys, before we get back to the rest of the episode today, I just wanted to give you a big thank you for tuning into the Unofficial TikTok Shop podcast. It's great to have you guys here. For those of you guys who don't know, our main sponsor is the agency that I founded, Social Commerce Club. We are one of the biggest TikTok Shop agencies in North America, and my team does incredible work for direct-to-consumer brands that are entering the TikTok Shop ecosystem. It is a hard go for a lot of brands out there, but our team is phenomenal. We are always on the very front edge of what is happening and what is working in the TikTok Shop ecosystem. So go to socialcommerceclub.com, tell them that you found out from the Unofficial TikTok Shop podcast. Now, back to today's episode.
Okay, that totally makes sense. What's one thing when you entered TikTok Shop that was so different than Amazon? Like you guys have come over and you guys are doing, 600K-ish a month right now. That's a decent part of your portfolio, right?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to 4 million a month, so yeah, whatever that comes out to, like 15%. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I was actually writing this to my team earlier. I think, everyone talks about Amazon being demand capture, TikTok being demand generation, right? Like that's, pretty clear. I think what I'm realizing we have to unlearn as an Amazon native company is that the way that you grow revenue as an Amazon native company is you add more and more SKUs, right? You just keep launching, try to get them to profitability. Versus if you think about like an AG1 or like a typical D2C company, I have a very narrow portfolio of SKUs typically, unless you're like in fashion or whatever. But like, let's using like an AG1, and they're able to hit, whatever, 500-600 million dollars a year from one hero SKU. And I think thinking about that, like that's what we're having to unlearn is like the Amazon native approach is just like launch more SKUs because you can't or you can't create demand. But
Which is the opposite of D2C.
exactly, which is the opposite of D2C. And I think TikTok Shop kind of falls somewhere in between, but more on the D2C side for sure.
Much more on the D2C, which is again why. So I just one quick thing here. There's so many agencies that are having such a huge problem, specifically in the Amazon world, right? And they wonder, they're like, why does SEC get it? Right. And this isn't a SEC plug. It's just that I want you guys to understand we came from the demand generation side of direct to consumer. I owned apparel brands in direct to consumer that is playing hard mode on hard mode. And I didn't realize that. And I wouldn't do that in the future unless I had like this real passion for some kind of apparel product that I wanted to bring to market. But like, that's the hard thing. So you're exactly right, Fernando. Like these Amazon agencies and Amazon brands are having to rethink and figure all of this stuff out, which also gets me super excited. That's why I'm like loving all of the education stuff I've been doing lately, the mastermind and all of these different things where I'm like, oh yeah, no, I can help you get a new paradigm, right? And you've got that new paradigm, right? Just a quick aside on AG1. What do you feel about the Brian Johnson takedown of AG1 right now?
I mean, I kind of love watching it, like eating popcorn, just like as he's kind of doing the side by sides and everything. I think it's fascinating. I mean, right? It's smart. He's punching up, right? Like ultimately, AG1's massive has created that category, um, and yeah, he's going after them because they're massive and trying to take their market share.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. I listen to anything when Brian Johnson is on and is somewhere just because I think that what he's doing is very interesting. And I actually don't think it's very commercial. What he's doing is not like this commercial sort of thing. He's really trying to create like what the next world is going to look like, which I find super, super interesting. Let's talk about what you saw when you came into like some of the big problems that you saw when you came into TikTok Shop from a software perspective. Like what was lacking and where did you start to try to fill that hole?
Totally. Yeah. So, I mean, for anyone that's sold on TikTok Shop, you can just see like how fragmented the data is, right? Like you have the affiliate center, the ad center, fulfillment side, like, and basically figuring out if you're profitable or not is pretty impossible. You're going to be like spend a million hours trying to pull the data from all the different places. And so the first thing that we built was just like a P&L, like basically just grabbing from all the respective APIs and then, giving you the ability to add in your COGS. If you're using a 3PL, you're fulfilled by seller. And then basically, now creating a really clean P&L for the entire business, but then also like broken out by SKUs so that you can see which ones are profitable, which ones are not. So then that was kind of the first thing that we kind of tackled. And then as we kind of started expanding, getting more and more like feature requests. And that's a really popular in the Amazon space, which is kind of where like, oh, we saw this as a need. But and then, as we started scaling, it was like, okay, I need to be able to hold my team like accountable to like, number of shoppable videos per week. And really thinking about like, how are we doing in terms of impressions? How are we doing in terms of ad spend and making sure that we're going up into the right. Like I'm hyper competitive. And so until we're in the top, 20 of the supplement brands, I'm like not letting off the gas. And so basically really holding my team accountable to the number of videos. And so we built like what we call like a CEO dashboard that makes it super easy to track all of those main KPI on a weekly basis until we get to that $1 million a month. And then, yeah, so those were kind of like some of the first problems that we started solving. And then most recently, actually, Liz, your former colleague, was the one that like really inspired this. I actually thanked her a few days ago. But is our creator intelligence tool. And so, yeah, I think ultimately it was like, for brands, it's, we have a million different connected creators, especially if you've scaled. But ultimately, like, what actions should a team or an affiliate team take to actually grow GMV? So it's like, how do you identify which creators have gone dormant? Which ones have like only done one video but performed really well? Which ones are like the fastest growing that you want to potentially move on to retainer? All of that kind of stuff is kind of what we've built.
Can we take a look? Because I think that anyone who's watching this obviously is interested in TikTok Shop and understanding how TikTok Shop works. I will tell you, at Social Commerce Club, some of the biggest issues that we are having is just invisibility, and TikTok's dashboard between all of the different areas just doesn't make it easy. And so I'd love for you to walk me through some of the visibility that you're able to get with Hive HQ and how we're actually able to make better decisions. I think at the end of the day, our entire role, and especially in the new world of AI, is going to be to make better decisions. And that's it. That's it. Like, just as a human, that is your role, right? Is to make better decisions. The execution will all be taken care of, right?
Totally.
That's our role. So
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of our demo accounts. And so you can kind of see, yeah, it pulls in, your total sales, and then it kind of gets you to your GMV. You're able to kind of see how much you're getting in terms of cancellations and refunds, which basically gets you to your GMV net of cancellations, refunds. Pulls in your cost of goods. So everything from TikTok's referral fees to the FBT fees, fulfilled by seller if you're using a 3PL. It breaks out your cost of goods, both for samples and for your actual product sold. And then gets you to your gross profit. And then so within your operating expenses, you're going to pull in everything from your GMV max ad spend, ad credits, affiliate commission, all that kind of stuff, and getting you to your basically to your net profit. Um,
awesome.
and
This alone is so much more visibility than most people have.
totally, totally. It's huge. It just makes life so much easier. I mean, this was actually your idea. Like, I can credit you
Oh,
for
I
that.
mean, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Um, but yeah, we built out these kind of like leading metric tiles so that you can kind of see how things are changing, over time, and kind of comparing it period over period, which is really cool. So you can kind of see we're a little bit down for most of this period. Just, I mean, makes sense, right? January is such a huge month for supplements. So for new year, new you.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, we have like a product level breakdown. So you can see, broken out by like SKU, units sold, sample sent, like all of your like GMV, ad spend, all that kind of stuff. And then this is one of my favorite tools is the CEO dashboard that I kind of mentioned earlier. But so you can look at things on a monthly basis, and then track, all of your, let's say affiliate GMV, live GMV, impressions, all that kind of stuff. But I think what's more interesting is looking at it on a week to week basis or even a day to day basis, right? And then just seeing like, okay, well, how are things trending? Are we sending out enough samples that's going to basically lead to the number of videos that we want, once we add in like kind of the retainers, all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, we have
Just for those of you guys, if you're just listening to this on Spotify, my recommendation is for you to go in and get on some Wi-Fi and actually watch this on Spotify. If you're just listening, because this is really, really interesting insight that we're sharing right now in the Hive HQ dashboard that I think will be helpful for every single brand that's out there.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. And so, yeah, I'm actually really excited for customer insight. We're going to be adding to this quarter, but basically really understanding your customer better, right? So everything from LTV to CAC to more cohort analysis and subscription revenue. So we're going to be adding in, especially for the consumable brands, but yeah, just a deeper understanding of how much what is your subscription revenue? How's that changing over time? Your take rate, churn rate, all that kind of stuff, will be
You might
added
be the
to it.
only one, by the way. Like I've been chatting with a lot of brands that are like trying to figure out the subscription thing, and right now there's no good third-party solutions right now. So I think that this is a very great thing for a lot of those brands.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and then the last one is creator intelligence. Like, yeah, we were talking about this before, but like, so what's cool about this is, so you're able to, actually let me refresh this. So you're able to see and filter on a bunch of different preset views. So you can see which creators, for instance, have gone dormant, which ones had only one video that was really strong, which ones are the fastest growing, by percentage, all that kind of stuff. And so what actually ended up happening for us was we were looking at this in December, and then we saw one creator that did maybe give or take like 8K in the month of December, but hadn't posted because you can see their most recent post date.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it hadn't posted since October. And then there was another one that was maybe like 5 to 6K, but hadn't posted since November. So I just called that out. I was like, hey, like, team, can you reach out to those two? And it was just honestly that they had run out of the supplement. So all they did was just send them a bunch. And then we added literally in minutes 18K in monthly
What?
GMV just by re engaging them.
How else would you do that manually, Fernando? Like what would you have to do within Seller Center to like actually be able to do that, or Affiliate Center? Like how would you be able to
Yeah,
get that data?
I actually don't even know. You'd have to, like, I guess, like, export all the videos, then figure out how to filter them by like old dates, and then make sure that they haven't posted since then, and then filtering out for like recent GMV as well. I guess that's how you would do it probably. But yeah, it would be a pain relative to having like kind of a done report for you. So yeah, something that we're like kind of looking at is like, okay, well, yeah, in the last like 90 days, like who's gone dormant, or yeah, who had a first strong video that we can basically, oh, oops, sorry. Uh, yeah, that we can basically re-engage and then do some kind of like 10, 15 video deal with. And ultimately, like, that's how we're growing GMV, is by re-engaging all these creators. Cause like, for instance, this one, they've done 1.5K and they've only posted once, and they've posted more recently, which is great. But if I change up the time frame, there's gonna be some other creators that haven't posted, or if you're looking at a longer window, is they've only done one video, and we haven't like really re-engaged them enough to get, yeah, 10, 15, 30 videos. And so ultimately that's kind of what we're focused on here. We also have like tags, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to tag Spanish creators or the ones that are on retainer or with a specific group, you can add these custom tags here. But yeah, like, so here's a great example. They haven't posted since December 25th on Christmas Day. They've done 5.6K over the last,
Wow.
90 days, but they only posted once. And so easy one.
And a decent GPM on that as well.
Exactly.
Wow. So what is one metric that you look at that you think is an underrated metric for creators?
Great question. Yeah, I would probably say GMV per video.
Mm.
That's
Yep.
one of the things that we're thinking about, like, and we're gonna be adding actually pretty shortly, just because, yeah, I mean, if they are able to drive a high GMV per video, that means that it makes sense for them, for us, to basically re-engage them on some type of like paid partnership, or figure out some way to motivate them to create more videos, since
That's
historically.
really good point, Fernando, is that like then you're like, awesome. Well, let's just guarantee 30 videos because now we know the GMV per video.
Right.
That's a very that's super interesting. I would also say GMV per sample is one of those ones that most people aren't actually looking at for an efficiency ratio, right? Like we talked on your podcast about how at Social Commerce Club we're at like $4,700 per sample that we're sending out, right? Like that is a massive amount of efficiency that you can get to at a certain point without having to waste a bunch of money. Like the way that you get to that efficiency that you're talking about and that I'm talking about right now is actually having data like this. So my recommendation for all of you guys, this isn't sponsored or anything like that. just go check out Hive HQ. It is definitely the dashboard that so many people are now using in the space to actually be able to get some of these insights, because you cannot get these insights on your own, right? It's really difficult to get them on your own. We know we have another tool, right, Halo, that we're gathering all of this stuff and doing a lot of different things from more of an omni-channel perspective in the space, and it's hard. It's very, very difficult to be able to aggregate this data. So I love what you guys are doing. Fernando, any last words for our audience here today?
No, I mean, I appreciate you having me on. And yeah, if you guys ever want to check out another podcast, yeah, TikTok Shop Secrets, you can find out more about me there, and check out hivehq.ai. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And guys, I will have all of those links down in the show notes. Of course, Fernando, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks again.